Many of you may already be aware that Britain is currently in crisis. The country we once knew, the nation our ancestors fought and died for, is being torn apart. And who is at the helm? None other than Keir Starmer, a leader who seems more interested in appeasing global elites than defending British interests. But today, a self-proclaimed British patriot is speaking out, and not holding back in a no-holds-barred takedown. He dismantles Starmer's weak leadership, calls out the betrayal of the British people, and exposes the harsh reality of what this government is doing to our nation. Would you fight for Britain under Starmer's rule? This individual wouldn't, and his reasons may shock you. From mass migration to deindustrialisation, from endless foreign wars to an identity crisis at home, he's saying what millions of us are thinking. Brace yourselves, because this is going to be brutal. Watch as this fearless patriot critiques Starmer's vision for Britain. If you've been watching our content but haven't subscribed yet, you're not alone. Over 98% of our viewers haven't subscribed. If you want to stay updated with the latest news in a clear and simple way, now's the perfect time to subscribe. By subscribing, you'll be among the first to know about all the new updates. Today, we speak to a young man in the studio who made the comment that he wouldn't fight for a secure Starmer's Britain. And that's the political commentator Charlie D. Charlie, welcome to the show. I read your column this morning with great interest, where you stated, "I'm 23. I count myself as a patriot, and once I would have thought I would have fought and died for this country. Yet I would rather be a conscientious objector than take up arms for Keir Starmer's Britain." How did you reach that conclusion? Well, Martin, when I stand at the top of the Kent Downs, near where I grew up, and look out over the grand patchwork of England that my forefathers built, cultivated, and handed down to me for preservation, I feel a deep connection. When I stand in a Norman or Anglo-Saxon church and feel not only the presence of God but the presence of my forefathers, who stood there before me, I know in my heart that I would fight and die for this country. But that's not what this is about. What I'm saying is, I'm not prepared to go to war and be sent abroad by this utterly corrupt, morally bankrupt political class that has sold out this country, sold out my generation, and sold our future down the river. They've sacrificed it on the altar of things like mass migration, net zero policies, and deindustrialization. When the prospect of conscription is raised, the idea of being sent to Ukraine, Gaza, or wherever else, to die fighting for what amounts to British and American foreign policy interests, it's just outrageous to me. It's a completely outrageous proposition to die for the military-industrial complex based in America. And it's no surprise that many of my peers feel this way as well. 41% of under 30s would not take up arms under any circumstances to defend Britain, including if Britain were to be invaded. As much as it's demoralizing and depressing to hear this news, I can't blame them. I feel the same way. At this point, this country doesn't feel worth defending. One of the main questions is, what are we defending? What does it mean to be British in the 21st century? If you listen to either the Conservative Party or the Labour Party, they talk about British values, democracy, tolerance, the rule of law, and individual liberty. But these are very thin, almost meaningless values. They don't give us a strong sense of identity. And then, who are we defending? This country has undergone such radical transformation due to the doomed project of mass migration over the past 30 years, and it has become unrecognizable. Once again, it's no surprise that my peers and my countrymen feel no sense of identity, no sense of belonging, no sense of purpose or place in this country. Charlie, these statistics are sobering, but I've heard similar sentiments from servicemen, including SAS operatives, who share the same view. It's a crisis, isn't it? Do you think it's something fundamental, that you wouldn't fight for a country that you feel hasn't fought for your values? Yes, exactly. I feel that this country has failed to defend its values and its people. And that's why I don't believe it's worth fighting for under the current leadership. Well, that's absolutely right. For my entire life, I've had the privilege of living in England. I grew up here, and whether knowingly or not, my parents immersed me in English culture from the day I was born. Holidays were always spent in Cornwall, enjoying roast dinners, scones with tea, visiting castles, parks, and having picnics, everything that makes this country so special. I love this country more than anything. But, despite all of this, the political class that has governed this country for my entire life, from Blair through to Cameron, Sunak, Johnson, and the rest, has betrayed it. They've betrayed the people of this country, who never asked for any of these issues to be forced upon them. We never voted for things like mass migration, deindustrialization, net zero policies, or any of the other challenges that are making life harder, not just for young people, but for everyone. Martin, I don't know if you've been out there recently, but people are really struggling. People are seriously struggling, and it breaks my heart. It makes me so angry to see the way this country is being run into the ground. Starmer is a particularly egregious example, but he's just the latest in a long line of leaders who've acted against the interests of this country at every turn. This issue seems to stem from a pathological ideology that has gripped our political class. They view this country not as an ancient homeland, but as an economic zone, a place to be understood purely in terms of profit and loss. This has led to mass migration, the deindustrialization of our economy, and the result is that young men, for instance, are now trapped in air-conditioned, brightly lit offices, feeling completely crushed and without purpose. It's no surprise, therefore, that so many of them are becoming attracted to more radical politics. As an Englishman and a young person, when you look at what the political class offers, it's clear, we deserve better. Charlie D., thank you very much for coming on the show today and sharing your passion. That was one of the most unapologetic takedowns of Starmer's Britain we've ever seen. And let's be honest, was he wrong? Our economy is crumbling, our industries are disappearing, and young Brits are being told they might have to fight and die in a war that has nothing to do with us. Meanwhile, the government continues to sell out the very people they're supposed to protect. This isn't just Starmer's fault. He's simply the latest puppet in a long line of weak, globalist leaders who have sacrificed our national identity on the altar of political correctness. No wonder so many young Brits feel disconnected from their own country. What about you? Would you fight for Britain as it is today? Or do you feel like this country isn't even ours anymore? We want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let us know your thoughts. If you're tired of the lies and you believe in defending Britain's true identity, make sure to like this video, share it with fellow patriots, and hit subscribe so we can continue exposing the truth. We're not backing down, are you?